Hey guys, Two-Nine Marine here with another story time. It's funny because I find myself like trying to remember what stories I've told you, and like I go back through YouTube, and I browse through all my videos and I try to find like what I think I would name it for the story, and I couldn't find these, and then I asked on Facebook and I could not. You guys said that I never told these stories here, so I'm going to do one per video, as I tend to do. So it'll be several videos, but it's just I'm like I want to say I told this in like a stream maybe or something. I don't know what it was, but either way, if it's old and if you've heard it before, then you know what, like the video anyway, and just attribute it to me getting old. I mean, I am 29 now, so getting old, and it's Alzheimer's or something. So. Yeah, so without further ado, let's start this thing. So, as you guys know, I'm an artilleryman. I shot artillery. That was my job. And I want to say I had just turned corporal. We had just got back to the States. We were in Japan. And I went to section chief's course, and I did all that, and I became a section chief. I'm pretty sure this is when it happened. But the timeline for it, I have a feeling I'm messing up a little bit. But at the same time, I don't think I am. Either way, we were in California. We're in 29 Palms. And we're out shooting. And a Marine of mine, who I shall name Phil, like my pug, who's actually currently soaking wet and wants out of his kennel, but he's going to fucking put mud everywhere, so it's not happening. Anyway, so yeah, my buddy Phil here. We were out shooting. I don't remember what kind of field op it was, but we were shooting at a decent clip, so I don't know. But we were shooting a good amount. And something happened to my loader. I don't remember what it was. But basically he was unable to load a round. And so my buddy Phil here decided he was doing a different job, but he had a moment, and we were shooting multiple rounds. And so he decided this is actually the last round of the fire mission. He decided to load the round for the Southern Marine, which is perfectly fine. That's what you do on the gun. If somebody goes down, someone else picks up the slack and takes over and does it, and so that's what he did. So he's doing just fine. And my buddy here is an excellent Marine. He went on to be a drill instructor. He did good stuff, and he's about my height, maybe a little bit taller. So he's probably like 5'7", maybe, and about 140 pounds. So like not a huge dude. And he picked up the round and he went to load it like you do, but you normally. When you load these rounds on the 777, if you guys pull up a picture of it, there's a loading tray, and it's kind of like a curved thing. You set the round in it, and it kind of like snuggles in there. It fits perfectly for the round, And he went, instead of sliding it up into it like you're supposed to, he went and like tried to like drop it on it and like slam it down. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. Like, oh my man, I can slam this shit down. Either way. When he went to slam it, it bounced off the corner of the tray, right? This 100-pound high explosive round, which is what we were shooting, bounced off the tray. And when I mean bounce, I mean it bounced. Like it bounced up high, which surprised me. And the round then, it kind of moved to the left and it went to fall into the middle of the gun. Now, don't worry, there's no danger of the round like going off. That just doesn't happen. We dropped the rounds. We beat the shit out of them, and they're fine. But so I wasn't worried about that, but I was just worried about somebody getting hurt, which of course did happen. And so my buddy here, he decided that he was going to try to stop this round before it reached the middle of the gun, like the bottom of it. And like I said, he was only like 140 pounds, if that. And pretty strong for his size, but unless you're like The Rock or something, you're not going to fucking stop 100 pounds of metal that's just fucking dead weight that's just falling. You're not going to be able to reverse that in time. Like maybe, especially with just like your arms, I mean, perhaps like if you can get under it with your whole body and like use your legs and stuff is maybe, I don't know. But either way, with your arms, chances are it's not going to happen. And so the round dropped, and he went to try to catch it. And, of course, being unable to, the round came down and smashed onto his hand, specifically onto his, I'm pretty sure it was his pointer finger on his left hand. smashed the fuck out of it. And he didn't have his gloves on, which we didn't wear a lot of times training anyway, when we were on the gun. But didn't have his gloves, so it smashed down on his finger. And all of a sudden I hear him yell, because I had like... as a section chief, your mind and your eyes are all over the place. So I saw it bounce, and I kind of looked away for a second, and then I just hear him scream, and I looked back and saw that it had landed there, right? And so then the round rolled off, and I went to pick it up to put it on the tray, because he was grabbing his hand. I just noticed blood all over the round, just a shit ton of blood, and I was like, oh, that's not good. I put the round on the tray. They loaded it. They rammed it into the tube, and we fired, because you have to continue the fire mission. Even if one of your Marines gets hurt, you got to continue the fire mission. And so that's what I did. We shot the round. It was the last round for the fire mission, so that was pretty good timing. And all of a sudden I turn around and I look at him, and he's just like, he's like screaming, but it's more like a what the fuck type scream versus being in extreme pain, which he should have been. But for whatever reason he wasn't. I think it hadn't set in yet what had happened. And I go over and I look at his finger, and I was like, dude, what the fuck was that? And he holds up his finger and he shows me, and from not the knuckle that like connects the finger to your actual hand, but the knuckle down from that, like I don't know, the middle knuckle, I guess, if that's how you want to label it, on his pointer finger there on his left hand, from there forward, had been crushed as flat as a pancake. It was like less than half the size of how his finger normally was. Just literally crushed the whole fucking thing. And so seeing that was weird. Seeing it go from normal sized finger down to that fucking little thing was weird. And then you see the skin on the side of his finger on both sides had split open, kind of literally down the side of it, right? And the bone was sticking out all over, like pieces of bone, because it literally crushed the bone. And muscle was out, and of course blood, but then like the fat too. So you get like all these colors. You get the white of the bone, the yellowish color of the fat, the red of the muscle, and he's just looking at it like, oh my god. And so I'm like, I of course get on the radio and I call for the corpsman, and he's fucking there in like 2 seconds. He had to have been hanging just outside, but then again, our corpsmen were fucking insane when it came. If there's a call, like a legit call, these guys hauled ass. Like they were there so quickly. And he got there, and he looked at it, and he's like, what the fuck did you do? And he's like, I dropped a round on it, Doc. Fuck, man, it's starting to hurt. And so they ended up having to take him out of the field, and he had to get surgery done on it. And I don't know how they fixed the bone, but they did. His finger, I think, is always going to be fucked a little bit, but somehow they fixed the crushed bone, and they got him stitched. And when I saw him afterwards, he had stitches on both sides of his fingers and down the front, because it literally, like, split all the way around. Like down in front of his fingernail and stuff. It was crazy. But yeah, it was gross. It was very gross. And, but it was cool to see at the same time, because I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, that thing fucking hit you so goddamn hard. Like it was insane. And, but we made fun of him after that for it. Because we're like, dude, you can't stop a round like that. Like it's not possible. Very few people are that strong. He's like, yeah, and it was funny. But so, some of you, I'm sure, will be 0811s, or whatever it is in the Army, the same, the artillery equivalent in the Army. And so, yeah, if you could take anything from this video, it's don't try and catch a 100-pound artillery round just with your hands, so like with your arm strength. It's because it's probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to end well for you, should you try and do that. So, yeah. All right, guys. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, hit me up, and I'll see you in the next one. Semper Fi.